This is how I make my triumphant return. I hope that didn't sound too loud. Yesterday when I recorded this, sounded like I was screaming into the mic. Baby, but I'm up again. You're in control, pulling strings like a puppet hand. I'm feeling magic, so you can call me Merlin. Our relationship is rocky, taking hits. Now we swerving. Yeah, I'm a shit, never shiver. Rapping in my room, no, not the basement like Tigger. You stick around, hoping I'll be big like Jigger. But behind my back, your friends say don't mess with that nigga. And damn, it really ain't a surprise. Cause there was a big joke, got my eyes on the prize, and I got them on you. I'ma just choose to make you the girl that I never cut loose. Now take the reins, cause this is our pimp ship. You could be the one, other girls, yeah, they ain't shit like genuine. We are back to the basics, girl, you gotta trust the adversity, we face it. I want you to know that I don't wanna go there, but you gotta choose, I don't wanna lose you, my heart will refuse to, but you gotta let me know. I want you to know. That's fire, cuz. Listen, I figured if I'm gonna make a return to the show, I might as well just do it by introing my music. I recorded one of these yesterday, and it felt like the audio was just bad. It was only about 25 minutes worth of just me talking, kind of giving y'all an update on like what's been going on, where I've been at, all these things. But I wanted to start by playing a song that I made over a decade ago, me and my brother. Shout out to DB. I appreciate you being on the third verse and the hook, my friend. That's an old school cut, man. I did that because you can see right there, it's just a little microphone and my little pop filter thing. I'm kind of back to making the music and still doing the show. I haven't done the show in probably about 10 to 12 weeks. Yesterday I couldn't figure out if it was 10 weeks, 12 weeks, or 15 weeks. It's just been a lot of weeks. Either way, it feels good to be back. Thank you if you're tuning in. For everybody who has ever tuned into this show, you know this is a is a very up and down show. Some days it's nothing but laughs and good vibes and, you know, updates on sports and entertainment, all these things. And then other days it's just me ranting about how mayonnaise mayonnaise our country is, and little things like that. I do want to make it clear, because I happen to say this a lot, especially online. I say the phrase mayonnaise ass shit a lot. Now let me explain to y'all what mayonnaise ass shit is, because a lot of people think that when I say mayonnaise, and this is y'all own fault, you automatically associate that with white people. I'm here to tell you, it's not a term or phrase that is specifically targeted to white people. Mayonnaise ass shit is anything that is overly corny that people do expecting some sort of response. So it can literally be anything that is overly corny. So like at this point, if you're still going into the store without your mask and then causing a problem over it, that's mayonnaise ass shit. If you're online and you are someone who has had or even hasn't had COVID, but also hasn't had a vaccine, but has had a family member pass away from COVID, and you say that this thing is a hoax, that's some mayonnaise ass shit. When you're racist, that's mayonnaise ass shit. Now I know you're thinking a lot of the things that I named are usually done by white people, but no, I've seen some folks of color do the thing I was talking about online, where they talk about how, you know, no, it's not real, dog, and I ain't worried about it. And then the next day they be on there like, yo, prayers up for my uncle, dog, he just died from COVID. But don't get the vaccine, dog, and don't wear your mask. The government's just trying to microchip you and play you. Also, if you're under the assumption that the vaccine is a microchip, that's mayonnaise ass shit. And you want to know why? Because your phone is a tracking device. You have a bank account? That's a tracking device. Have you signed up for any type of like cards at stores and rewards programs? All that? Those are tracking devices. So Mayonnaise shit is anything that is overly stupid that people do in hopes that they will get a response in their favor when we all know that it's pure stupidity. But not exclusive to white people. Anyway, 10, 12, 15 weeks, I don't know what it's been. It's been a long time, but there's been good reason for that. So I've been working on finishing up my real estate courses so I can flip homes and sell homes and be in random homes without people calling the cops. I say that because I seen a video a few weeks ago where this black realtor was showing this young gentleman and his son a home, and then the cops pulled up and gave him a whole hard time about it. So it can even happen to you, even if you're a realtor. But anyway, my plan is to do that in the future. Anybody that knows me, y'all know what my current day job is. I like teaching and mentoring and helping people, doing all that, but it's time to give back to myself in the form of these bags. And so I'm trying to go chase more money. I have a great job. I've been making wonderful money, but at some point in the future, I plan to transition from my current job into something else. I also think doing real estate will give me more time to invest more into doing the shows. And then also, like I said, I've been back to doing the music. I introed the show with one of my old records called Let Me Know, featuring my brother DB. I have a lot of music that's never been heard by anybody. Maybe like a handful of people. Like I literally have 4 mixtapes worth of songs that were recorded and put together on tapes. And honestly, they all had about 15 tracks apiece. There's maybe 3 records that are good. And I'm being completely honest. As a music fan, when I think of some of the music that I've put out and some of the content, I've been like, this shit is ass. So we're on our way back, new and improved. I mean, my bars, I feel like, have always been pretty good. But a lot of times, like, when it comes time to put it on the record, I just think after it's recorded and then I hear it back, I'm like, yo, I might listen to this for like a week. And after that, it probably would just never be played again. And so I'm looking to try to make some songs that people will want to listen to for a lifetime, that I'll want to listen to for a lifetime. Let Me Know is the only record I think I've ever created that I openly will listen to in the car with the windows down, with people in the car, people outside of the car listening. It's the only one. Like I said, I have other songs, but I think my biggest thing when I was a rapper is that, like, obviously you've seen this show. I cuss way too much. Like, I have a foul mouth. Me and my mom were talking about that on the phone the other day. Because I told her I was back to making the music, and then we started laughing and rehashing about the time I was in middle school and got suspended from school because I was writing raps. I'm literally like in the 6th or 7th grade. I have no idea what I'm saying, but you know, it was Cash Money taking over for the 99 to 2000s. I was different back then. You know what I'm saying? I was back that thing up and rapping about this and that and da-da-da-da-da, because that's just what we were listening to back then. And my favorite song growing up, my favorite rap song growing up was Hypnotized Cash Money. I don't know if you ever heard that, but it's with 3 6 and then Cash Money Records at the time had Lil Wayne, Turk, BG, Juvie, Baby Slim, and then everybody from 3 6 all on one record. It's fire. And believe it or not, my favorite verse was the very last verse on the song, which was Birdman. I can't even believe that in middle school, I used to think Birdman had the coldest verse that I had ever heard. Niggas be sides and niggas ride. High side on niggas, but I die for a few. That's not even rap at this point. Like, most of the stuff he was saying, people would hear that and be like, that's not even a top, like, 90 to 100,000 verse of all time. But for me, in middle school, I was like, it don't get no better than this. So I decided after that moment that I was going to be a rapper. Me and my man, Jonathan Bedford, which was a kid I grew up with, me, him, and my dog, Kenneth MacArthur. It's funny because John actually became a rapper. John was the biggest kid at our middle school. And we used to all just sit around and rap and get in trouble and play basketball, do all these things. It was real cool. And I remember getting that suspension and being like, well, what do I do? I'm just a rapper. And I remember my mom reading some of the stuff back to me, and then kind of like after she whooped my ass, kind of explaining to me like what I was saying. And I still was looking at her like, but it rhymed, didn't it? Not realizing how vulgar, how degrading, how awful it was. So over the years, I started to improve. And then after a while, me and some of my Florida homeboys, shout out to my man Rob, and then his boy at the time, Jake, they had heard me rapping or whatever, and they're like, yo, come be on this song. So I was on this song called Butt Naked in the Club. And there's a music video and everything. You can find it on YouTube. So you'll see me in the video. Young Nick. Young Meme Cool. And I think at the time my rap name was Prophet. Don't ask me why. I've had 100 rap names. I'm in my button-down t-shirt. I have a partially built goatee. When I say partially, the mustache used to come in and it would go down and it would get here, but like in the very middle, it was not really connecting like that. And I'm on the second and fifth verse, I think. The song is pretty dope. We went down to Orlando to Rachel's, the strip club. We filmed the video. We had a guy who was supposed to have all of these girls show up, right? Because it was supposed to look crazy, like BET Uncut. We had one girl show up for the video. And you know why she showed up? Because she came to pick up her check. She had no idea we was even in there. And we actually ended up becoming friends with Shorty. But she stayed, was able to work the whole video with us. And it was a good-ass time, man. And I remember thinking, like, yo, it's not bad. Me, Rob, and then one of his homeboys replaced Jake on the record. His buddy's name was Maverick. If you go watch the video, you see Maverick is in like the yellow polo. Rob is my friend. D-Red, sorry. I'm trying to remember everybody's rap names. But yeah, we did the damn thing. And there was another video that Rob did that features me on it. For the life of me, I always forget what that song is called. My apologies, Rob. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't feel like my verse is very good on that record. So if that record didn't do well, I feel like I don't want to say it's my fault, but I feel like that's one of those ones where I listen to it and I'm like, you could go ahead and turn this off. This is terrible. But after that, I made, like I said, several mixtapes. I recorded everywhere, in my closet, in my car, in my little brother's bedroom, like we were in bathrooms. I recorded songs everywhere, man, because that was just what I like to do. And that was at the time where I still was kind of chasing my dreams of trying to be a basketball player, like a half-cocked idea, like not really going to work out and condition very hard, but just, emailing coaches around the state of Florida at different JUCOs and seeing if I could go try out, and then getting invited to go try out, making the team, getting injured, all these types of things. And I was like, oh, if I'm not a basketball player, I'm going to be a rapper. Terrible idea. Now I'm just back to making music just for the fun of it. Mainly because, like I said, it's good therapy. In between the days that I'm not actually engaging with my therapist, I need things to help me relieve my stress. That's why I play basketball. That's why I've been doing this show for a long time. And now that's why I'm back to the music. I haven't been doing this show because I have been taking time to finish up this real estate stuff, which it's basically done. I think I have 2 more quizzes and 2 more final exams. I've been really delaying the last little bit of this because I had a 35th birthday recently. I was doing stuff with that, and then kind of just, getting ready for the start of the school year, which is a lot of preparation, a lot more than what people think. Shout out to all my fellow teachers and anybody who's working with kids, especially if you're having to go to school after not being on site for a year. I know things are chaotic right now, and COVID is flaring up like crazy with all these new variants. So shout out to all the teachers who are really, I'm not going to say everybody's putting it on the line to some degree, but I feel like teachers especially, it's almost the same as like healthcare workers, just in this sense where you're asking people to take care of other people's lives and put their own at risk. And we're giving all of these people a hard time because there are tons of parents who are giving teachers a hard time because teachers are asking that students wear their mask and be safe and da-da-da. It's like, but if you want your teacher to be there to teach, you got to make sure that they're protected too. And I believe the same thing with how the pressure that we applied to healthcare workers for the last 2 years. Like, you want them to come in and like save your lives and do all these things, but then you're not actually remembering that these are people too who are blood, sweat, and tears, the whole thing. So a lot of chaos has been going on. So I've just been kind of cooling out. I had a lot of shows last year that I did where it was like just nonstop spazzing on here. And a lot of that was just because obviously I'm passionate about certain topics. We want to get to it on certain things. You feel a certain type of way about things that you see, read, or hear that you're a part of. Excuse me. I got the burpees, which I need to do some of those, by the way. That'll help me shed these LBs. But everything, there was a lot of chaos over the last 2 years. And this show is actually going on running for 2 years. The Memechel Jackson, well, this is now Lunchtime TV, but it once was when I was doing internet radio with Sherry on Track Talk. And, we started that. That was 2 years ago, like last month. And so, that turned into also doing the YouTube shows and then doing the podcast. And then I had Starters on the Bench. And then I took Starters on the Bench and combined it with the Memechel Jackson show. And that's where we're at now with Lunchtime TV. And I did this for multiple days a week, hours at a time. And now it's just been kind of condensed into a quick 30 to 45 minute show. Nothing like too crazy. But, I did need to take a break because I felt myself always just using this as a way to come on here and just like, like spaz out and go crazy and all that. I don't want to say that it's unnecessary because there's a time and a place for that. But I think if, who in the fudge wants to watch content every day where a brother's just like coming on here and raged and screaming, all that type of shit. So a lot of my hiatus has also been that I've been trying to like get my own stuff together, and that's continued. I talked about that in the past year about how everything was in an effort to help build and maintain growth, and that's as a man, as a working professional, as a friend, as a brother, as a son, and for future as a partner, because these are all the aspects of life that we all go through. We all look for companionship. We all hopefully, are working professionals, and, we look to, make those relationships good. Obviously, we all look to try to have social lives if we possibly can. But you got to be able to show up in those moments, in those spaces, and be the best version of yourself. And so that was something that I had been working on for a long time, and it's continued. It's still it's a work in progress, and I think it will always and forever be that. I don't anticipate anytime soon that I'll just have it figured out. The minute that I think that I have it figured out, that's probably when I'm the most fucked up. The other thing that I haven't been doing is I just decided on my 35th birthday that I was just done sharing memes. If you know me, Memechel Jackson was created several years ago because I spent years just posting memes all on my Facebook and on my IG, and it just became a thing. And then, I had this new name. I went from being Nick to Memechel Jackson because I was the guy with the memes. And then the one thing that I realized is that, I think in the last couple of years, I have lost 2 grandparents, lost a friend. I lost a lady to COVID complications who helped like raise me in times like when I was a teenager, when I used to go play basketball at this community center, and Miss Dolores was a big part of my life. And I looked at all those L's, like I lost jobs, like I lost friends due to my attitude. I went through a lot of changes. And the one thing that I recognize is that although there are some people who really remain strong and true throughout the course of all these things, there were a lot of people that to them, my only value is the memes. And then maybe some of these other like one-off things, like maybe I'm just nice to talk to on occasion, but I'm not somebody who's worth spending that time with, on the days that I've been at my lowest point. Like I said, there's been a couple people, and a shout out to the my sister Gabby, Markel, and Steph, and my brother Doug, my one of my great friends, and Kimmy King is somebody who's very important to me. Like, there are people, but there are a lot of people that I did put my trust in and put my eggs into those baskets, and then through all those tough times, that shit kind of fell through. And the one thing that I noticed is that they really only pop up when it's time to put those memes up. And so I kind of just decided, like, at 35, I quit that. And I actually, when I recorded the show yesterday, I told a little story about how I ran into my friend Rob Harris. Shout out to Rob, man, and I appreciate you, brother. I seen Rob at the Fred Meyer. One of the first things he said to me, he said, "Yo, G, you okay? I haven't seen you posting memes or doing anything like that." And I'm like, and I kind of gave him a rundown about what I've been doing, and everything has been fine. It's just been one of those things that I just decided I was just done with the shit. And so before Rob and I parted ways, the last thing he said to me was like, "Yo, post some memes. We miss you," or something to that effect. And I walked away feeling like, I said, yeah, I got you. You know how niggas be doing. Yeah, I got you. Da, 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 da. And I walked away thinking, I don't want to do that. Rob, I love you, bro. I appreciate you. And I don't want you to feel like I was misleading you, but like, I just genuinely have been in a space where they're still funny, but I don't want to do that shit anymore. And a lot of it is because I remember there were some points where I used to post 200 in a day. Easy. I have 40,000 memes stored in my camera roll. I have like maybe 1,000 pictures of myself, lifetime. It usually used to only happen when I was in my really, like, my lowest points. And the way I deal with things is I just have to laugh. Everything has to be a joke. So I think the reason why, to me, it has started to feel like my only value within people was with the memes is because I give off the impression that everything is funny. I don't give off the impression that I can really be taken seriously. And then also in times when people do see me, the thing that they used to see, especially on this show, was me yelling and screaming, whether that be about race or, whatever the case may be. And not that that's not an important subject, it is. And that is something that we should all be yelling and screaming about. But at the same time, it just kind of feels like I'm very much like, one day, I'm over here laughing about every little thing. Everything is funny. And then the next day I'm trying to be a Black Panther. And then the day after that, I'm trying to be a good partner. And then the day after that, I'm trying to be a good uncle or a good son and all these things. And it just nothing was really adding up. And a lot of that is just because of the traumas that I have and the places that I was in and how unhappy I was with things. And so, people try to talk to me. I won't engage in conversation. Like, I'm hard to deal with, but then like I'll be on the internet all day laughing, cutting up, putting up all these emojis. It looks like I'm having all these conversations with all these people, but people not really understanding that, like, and I don't need sympathy. Because most, if not all of this stuff is self-inflicted. But a lot of times, like I said, people didn't realize that, like, I really was, like, wondering, like, what will life be like if I'm just gone from here? And not like I'm on some I want to throw myself off a building type of stuff. It ain't none of that. But just thinking, like, if I just walked away from the internet, would people even care? I think at this point it's been close to about a month since I think I've shared maybe one meme since my birthday, and it was just this one that I that I thought was hilarious. I think the last meme on my IG is this picture that somebody drew. It's like a conversation between like a child and a parent where they drew a picture of Lori Lightfoot, who's the mayor of Chicago, and it looked like some Nightmare Before Christmas shit. And it was just so funny because the parent's response to the drawing is, "May God forgive you." And that had me literally, I was in here rolling around the floor in tears laughing at how funny it was. It's still funny. That was a meme worth sharing. But for the most part, I've just decided that I don't want to do that anymore. And it's many reasons. Like I said, I don't want to feel like my only value with people is memes. I also want to try to get to a different space in life where When I'm unhappy, I actually discuss and kind of go through my traumas and situations rather than try to put them in a box, close the box, go back to laughs, and then let them just sit in that box and make all this damn noise and never be dealt with, because that's what I've been doing my whole life. And the coolest thing about this past year is that with a lot of the stuff that I've been through, like, I've just had to realize that, like, none of this stuff was hair on fire. It didn't kill me. It wasn't backbreaking. Like, I wasn't having to endure physical pain, except injuries from basketball. Boy, I stay getting hurt. Oh my God. But overall, none of this stuff killed me. And I know that people go through way worse things. Like, I know a ton of my friends, man, like, they're responsible for helping build other humans' lives. They have that. They have their own stuff. They're dealing with family. They're dealing with work. They're dealing with COVID and all of these types of things. And like, when I look at my plate, I only have to worry about me and work and getting bills paid. I'm not responsible for managing my own self as well as managing small humans, and when I look at some of those things and some of the people around me, I'm just like, yo, gotta be more thankful, my dude, because this shit could be way worse than what it is. And so I think the time away has been good. Like I said, I don't know if it's been 10 weeks, 12 weeks, 15 weeks. It's just been a long ass time. But I think it's been good because I started doing this with the hopes that, maybe I believe in myself and I believe in my talent. I believe in my skills and abilities to conduct interviews, to vibe with people, to be able to make people feel comfortable to where they would want to tell stories. I'm a big advocate for mental health. Like, I fully believe in my skills and ability to do radio as well. Like, this is something that I want to do. But I think over the last 9 or so months, this shit just became zero fun because every show was like, we're highlighting another story where an African American was killed by a white person or by police, or we're talking about Asian hate, or we're talking about, it's just everything was hate, man. And even though we're trying to point it out, we're raising awareness, we're doing all those things, and that will never stop or cease. It just made it tough because then, you wake up, you look at your phone, and there's another video, and it's not like, oh yeah, we get to report on this today. It was like, oh man, fuck, now I'm mad, and now I gotta get on the show and I gotta tell y'all that I'm mad. But y'all already heard my cries. You've heard the cries from everybody else. Y'all know this shit be bad. I don't want to get on here and always do that. And there's been times where I've said that. We've tried to, and I've gone, we've had guests on, or we've talked about other things, or it's just been sports, or it's been books or music, or whatever the case may be. But then it just slowly starts to drift back to a lot of that negative stuff. So, even when you think I'm just, I'm on YouTube and I'm recording these videos and it's not the news, but it does start to feel like the news when it becomes nothing but negativity. My vibes were bad. And so I had to go away. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. They're like, why do you always disappear? I'd be like, because if my vibes are bad, the best thing that I know to do is remove myself from any and all spaces, because I know the impact that I have on my environment when I walk into a room. If my attitude ain't right, you can feel that shit change. For years, I denied that when people would tell me that, but I fully understand now. And so I've gotten better, but still have not improved the way that I want to. And what I mean by that is I've gotten better about recognizing within myself when it comes time to take a break from things and kind of go away and be quiet. But the other issue that I have not completely rectified is that when I do go away, I tend to stay away. And I've become a big hermit, and I ain't gonna lie, the peace has been great. I come to my spot, there ain't nobody here nagging. Football's back on, you know what I'm saying? Got Madden drop, 2K drop, and I'm on those. Still on Call of Duty. I'm on Uno too. I got Uno decks. I'm playing Uno on the Xbox. I play Uno at school. I'm Uno'd out. I even got an Uno shirt hanging up in the closet. And one day on this show, you're going to see me wear that motherfucker too. But because I become a hermit, I've just decided that I want to be away and in all these different spaces, and it just hasn't been super great. And so, like I said, everything is a work in progress. Growth as a man is not the easiest thing in the world, but it also is a very necessary part of continuing to, walk through life, man. Like, I just don't see how people cannot recognize their own issues and want to fix this shit. Because I know that people point it out. That's what we do as people. We love being like, yo, you see what you're doing right now? You tripping, shorty. We love doing that to people. But we hate doing that to ourselves and actually having to like put ourselves on the bench, take ourselves out of the game, sit on the bench for a while, watch film, reevaluate, get better, and then go back into the game. Everybody just want to stay playing the game. And I no longer want to play this shit being an unhappy, miserable, asshole out black dude. I don't want to be that dude. So, again, the show never was done. It just was on break. We're going to start up a new season of Lunchtime TV. I don't know when that's going to be. Whether that be this week, next week, the following week. It ain't going to be 10 weeks from now, that's for sure. There will be another show way sooner than 10 or 12 weeks. I'm not saying that we're going to have guests on and all. Like, I have all these interviews saved on my computer, and it's all unreleased. So many of my projects are unreleased. Like, I talked about Black Forever. Like that, there's 10 interviews from this Black Forever project that I did. All with wonderful, amazing people that I know. All black, too. And it's just sitting on this damn computer. Unedited, nothing really happening. Eventually, I do want to go back to that. I want to get back to a space where I feel happy within myself and my craft, and I feel like my responsibilities are handled, and then we can get back to this. I don't want to say full-time, but as close to full-time as we possibly can get. And that should be within the next couple of weeks, only because, like I said, my real estate stuff is coming to a close. We all done with that. And once I cop this license, man, we on to the next chapter of life. And the next chapter of life involves this show. It involves this music. And it involves getting these bags through these homes. That's just what I'm going to do. So, like I said, I've been on hiatus because I've been trying to build a successful life for myself. Everything in the early stages of that process, it was rough, it was bumpy, it has taken a long time, but I'm in a good space, and I felt like because I was in a good space, this was the week to come back to the show. So I appreciate y'all, especially if you've listened to this whole thing. This is still a show where we talk about sports, books, video games, music, mental health awareness. We love promoting black art, excellence, the whole shebang bang. And we like promoting art and excellence for other people too. But I'm going to let you know, me as a black man, I want to hype up my people. And y'all not ever going to make me feel no type of way for that. I do love all people. I fuck with everybody. I love white people. I love Asian people. I love Latinos, especially being part Latino. Like, I'm rocking with everybody, but I'm no longer going to feel bad for, jumping out the window for my own people that look like me, because I want that same thing from my people. That's why I stay on Twitter, because on Twitter, it's black love. Black Twitter is amazing. If you have not been on Twitter, I suggest you get you a Twitter account. You will not be sorry. But they don't take shit serious on there. But anyway, man, I thank you for tuning in to Lunchtime TV. Again, I'm not sure when the next show is going to be, but it will be within the next couple of weeks. DM me for features. I can go back to saying that now because I actually am back on this rap stuff. So for real, you wanna do a feature? Let me know. I'm with it. If you don't think I got bars, well, let me finish this record. I don't wanna go there, but you gotta choose. I don't wanna lose you, my heart will refuse to. But you gotta let me know. So I ask they can to try to help me out. This song should explain what I'm all about. I get knocked down, but I'm never knocked out. You're like school, never quit, never drop out. Like Lil Wayne, I'm all in a drought. Girl, just trust, so there is no doubt. You're the only girl that I want by my side when I'm cruising the streets and I'm out and about. I killed that. I'm just gonna say bye to all of them. Them is they are the girls I say. They're not worth it, so with you I'll stay. One more chance, no more games I'll play. Accept my plea for our plans don't flake. I'm out. It's been a good show, man. I love y'all. Y'all have a good day.